Good evening, and welcome to our annual First Pitch Mingle event. Obviously, it's a big night as we'll recognize our Tigers when it comes to baseball and softball team, but it's also a big night for us at Northeast to thank all the donors. And I hope all the donors here tonight realize how special and important you are when it comes to the success of what we have here at Northeast. Also a big night, I know the parents, see a lot of parents here. Well, it's going to be a big night for them as well. And also a lot of our behind the scenes people we need to say a special thanks to as well. All part of that equation that makes Northeast a premier community college. Before we talk about what's going to go down tonight and I want to introduce Eli to give the prayer, I want to introduce the president of Northeast Mississippi Community College, Dr. Ricky Ford. He'll have a few comments.
Thank you, Will. It is a great pleasure to see all of you out here tonight. We want to say a special thank you to all of our donors, but more importantly than that, too, we want to say thank you to the parents for your commitment to sending your child and trusting them with us here. I know the coaches are interested in them about playing baseball and softball, but I'm interested in them primarily about graduating, going on and being a productive citizen and being successful in the workforce. That's my top priority. We do the things that we need to do in order to get them to that level. And again, I'm going to say thank you for coming tonight. And again, thank you, softball players, baseball players, for what you're going to do in the next few weeks. So I know you're excited about that, and we're excited about getting this started. So again, welcome everybody. As always, let's go Tigers.
Well, go Tigers. Here we go. Thank you, President Dr. Ricky Ford. At this time, I'd like to ask Eli Sparks from Belmont if he would come forward. We need to bless the food that we're about to enjoy. And Eli will have our prayer tonight.
Let's pray, God. Heavenly Father, God, I want to thank you so much, Lord, for everything you're doing here, Lord. I can, Lord, sometimes it's so easy to feel your Holy Spirit moving, but God, I pray it's not even get the Holy Spirit out, Lord. God, I pray that we can honor and glorify you in every action that we make. But Lord, we ask you to bless us food that we're about to have. God, I pray that you bless us for the nourishment of our bodies and our bodies to your service to the kingdom. God, I thank you for everybody here, Lord, and just God, like I said, it's honor and glorify you in everything we do. And I pray that something tonight, God, leads somebody closer to you. Lord, we thank you for many blessings in all of our lives, God, and just blessing everybody here. We thank you for what you're doing. We thank you so much for Jesus in Christ's name. Amen.
Thank you, Eli. At this time, if you're part of the food staff, if you start heading toward the kitchen, and while they're doing that, just a reminder that the team store is about to go live. If you go to the Northeast Baseball Twitter account, the link will be there for the team store. Also a reminder, we have rosters and schedules over there as well. And at this time, as the food staff now heading to the kitchen, if the players could now go to the food area, they would go to the window, and then of course the players will be providing and serving all of us here tonight. And in about a half hour, after we enjoy the meal, we'll start the program. Thank you.
I know there's still a few of you that are still enjoying a dessert. Obviously, continue to enjoy that. We're going to get started. First of all, Walden's did a really nice job catering tonight. Of course, we got local with Walden's, and they said this was the second highest order that they've ever had. Next year, we'll make it. Next year, Coach will be number one on the order for this event. Before we get started, obviously the weather has been the big story. We had 8 inches of ice, Monday and Tuesday, 3 inches of rain yesterday, 2 more. But both our softball and baseball teams practiced outside today, which really speaks volumes, because I would say, Coach, there wouldn't be many. We'd be one of the few, if not the only, probably college teams that practice outside today. So a tribute to all the folks that make that happen, our maintenance folks that do such a great job. And we'll be thanking them along with some others in just a bit. This time we're going to introduce this year's softball team. And I'd ask the ladies to please, when I announce your name, to please stand up. And then we'll meet the baseball team after this. Starting off for the Tiger softball, Calicut. All right. You can stay standing up if you want, or you don't. Okay. So whatever you want. It's your preference. Okay. How about Sydney Bean? Gracie Yates? Madeline Savage? Caitlin Carnathan? Bree Harmon? Olivia Gamble? Ava Meeks? Annalise Rogers? Amaya Hill? Jana Shaw? Madison Bowman? Caitlin King? Haley Minshew? Riley Tittle? Alyssa Gray? Strong fan club for Natalie tonight. How about Sarah Hyman? Madison Holcomb? And Ella Joe? Head coach in his 27th season. Hard to believe, Jody Long. How about it? Head coach Jody Long. Kevin Connell is in his 7th season here as assistant coach. Bobby Robbins in his 4th season. Student manager is Dayton McAllister. And of course, Ziggy Morrow is our athletic trainer. Let's give a round of applause for the 23-24 Tigers football team. All right, fellas, time for you to take center stage. How about number 1, late holiday? Alan Oswald. Andrew Davis. Connor Graves. Kylan Washington. Christian Sprawling. Understand, congrats to Christian on his way to Southern Illinois University to play next year, so he'll go from a Tiger to a Saluki. Kelly Crumpton. Brant Smith. Jack Taylor. Hayden Donahue. Congrats off to the Hayden. He'll be playing for our keynote speaker, Coach Risner, and Memphis next year. Connor McNabb. Ben Sandlin. Drake Douglas. Jacoby Smith. Brody Lenz. Paris McReynolds. Drew Carty. Taylor Ballard. Ryan Bland. Ryan Moore. Jackson Mayer. Parker Hall. Carter Wells. J.B. Williams. Jay Huggins. John Neal Welch. Hunter Griffin. Eli Sparks. Connor Timms. Jonah Warren. And Samuel Curtis. Head coach, Ricky Harrelson. And his assistants, Will Brand, Ryan Smith, Ryan Wesson, Brian Dowdy is one of the student assistants, and J.J. Brown is the other student assistant. And of course, Ziggy, once again, the athletic trainer for baseball as well. So there's your Northeast Tiger baseball team for this year. At this time, I'd like to ask a player from each team to come forward. We're going to have a little Q&A, a little question and answer. Caitlin Carnathan, the utility sophomore from Saltillo, will represent the ladies, and Hayden Donahue from here in Booneville will be for the Tiger baseball team. I'll tell you what, let's use I'll have the wireless, and you, Peyton, Caitlin, if you want to go over there, and I'll be over here. We can just kind of talk what's going on. Obviously, we'll start ladies first. What do you think, Caitlin? Caitlin, how about the vibe? What's it been like practice, getting ready for the season? I mean, it's here next weekend.
Yeah, so this year's
You're good. You're
okay.
good.
This year's been a lot different so far between the snow and the rain. So we've been inside a lot. And we've added a morning practice too. So we're there in the mornings and the afternoons, but we're definitely still getting our work in, just inside instead of outside.
Hey, that's great, and that's wonderful when it comes to the facilities. And Hayden, how about for the guys?
Same thing, just kind of happy to be back outside.
Wait a second, the mic, is it? Yeah.
Do you hear me?
There we go. There we go. Okay.
It's all right.
Okay, no, take two for Caitlin. Hayden, what about the guys?
Of course, she mentioned the ice and everything. We hadn't been get to be outside, but we're happy to finally get back outside on the field. But really looking forward to getting played next week.
Absolutely, it's here. How about fall? You know, sometimes that kind of gets lost in the shuffle, doesn't it, Caitlin? How important the fall practice is. How did that go? And from a player perspective, how important is the fall?
The fall for us is really important. We played a lot more games this fall than we did our last fall, but it gave us a lot more game experiences. A lot of people got to play a lot of different positions. We got to see different things on the field, work through a lot of things. So it was it is a really big part of the season and the progression that we've had so far.
Well, obviously, Hayden, coaches do a lot of evaluating in the fall, but how about from your perspective and from some of the guys on the baseball team, how important, what did you learn and how did you improve with that fall?
Like she said, it's big for the team, learning who's going to play. We got to extend our fall this year and got to play a lot of games. We kind of get to learn more about your team, get to move players around. Of course, we have a young team this year that helped us out. Of course, scouting wise, it helps out for us to get recruited.
All right. Well, we talked about the fall. Let's fast forward now. The spring season right around the corner. I'm not going to ask you guys for any predictions, but how about the outlook? What are the impressions, what you've seen from the team, and what are you hoping to attain this year?
For us, we have a lot more speed this year, so I'm excited to see how we get to utilize that. The outlook obviously has to be positive no matter what. You know, that's where the game starts. It's all mental in your head. If you have a bad outlook before, then bad outcomes are more likely to come. So I think we all are positive about what's to come and excited to see how we perform.
Hayden, hey, what are you going to be watching for? And what are you guys hoping to take care of business this year?
Of course, like I mentioned before, we're a young team, but it seems like everybody's trying to get better every day. So I think we have a really good chance at being really good. I think we're going to be one of the best defensive teams in the conference this year.
And as a pitcher, you dig a good defense, don't you?
Helps out a lot.
It helps out a lot, absolutely. Well, I know we're ready to, I know you've done a great job, both of you. How about anything you'd like to add to maybe our donors, to the parents, to the administration here tonight?
I would just like to personally thank y'all, and I also know my coaches and my team want to thank y'all as well. Without y'all's support, we would not have the facilities that we have, and we're also extremely lucky that we're not expected to have to raise money to get to play. So y'all really help us out there, and we're very thankful.
Same thing for me, but I want to thank all the people back there who cooked the food and made this possible tonight.
All right. Hayden Donahue, Caitlin Carnathan, great job and best of luck this year.
Thank you.
Yeah, they did an outstanding job tonight. Not an easy assignment. At this time, how about do we have any former baseball and softball players here at Northeast? Are there any former Tigers in the house? If you would stand. There's Casey. Anybody else? Oh, we've got several. Okay. Give them a round of applause. And of course, the Diamond Club members. There's a lot of people that we need to thank, and a special thanks to the Diamond Club members here tonight. Obviously, we talked about a little bit earlier what an important key you are to the winning equation here at Northeast. And we also would like to encourage, if you know of other businesses that we can partner with, or even helping us identify some potential donors, if you would maybe even talking to some colleagues, just trying to grow that Northeast brand. So keep us in mind, and obviously talk to the coaches if you have anybody that can help us grow that particular brand. At this time, I'd like to also send out some special thanks to the coaches' wives. Obviously, they can't be what they could be without the support at home, so a special thanks to all the wives. We heard from President Ford earlier. Special thanks to our president, Dr. Ricky Ford, our athletic director, longtime athletic director, award-winning athletic director, Kent Ferris. There is Ken over there. And a special thanks to any other Northeast Mississippi Community College staff. I see personnel, including maintenance. We talked about how important it was. Amazing with the winter weather, and yet these guys and gals were able to practice today. So a special thanks to those folks and what they do day in and day out. At this time, it's time to switch our attention to our main speaker tonight, Coach Matt Risner. He was hired in June to direct the University of Memphis baseball program, and success has followed Risner throughout his baseball journey, both as a student athlete and as an instructor / coach. He spent the last 16 years on the staff at Southeastern Louisiana. He was able to take the elevated the position as head coach in 2014, and in that decade that he was the head coach at Southeastern Louisiana, how about 3 Southland Conference titles, and he made the NCAA tournament 4 different times. Their first berth in the NCAA tournament was the, I believe, his inaugural year, and they were in the Baton Rouge Regional. In fact, they beat Bryant 2-1, I think the final score was, and that was their first NCAA tournament win in over 20 years. He's from Picayune. He helped lead the Maroon Tide to a state championship in high school, and then in 2018, later, he was named as one of the top coaches under the age of 40 by Baseball America. And Risner left the Lions with the second most victories in program history, 320. Now, I mentioned he was a player as well. We talked about what he did at Picayune High School. He wrapped up his playing career at Tulane, played 44 games during that 2005 season, which was really monumental at Tulane. They made it all the way to the College Baseball World Series in Omaha. Played at Rosenblatt Stadium, the historic Rosenblatt Stadium, and also some Ole Miss fans might remember that Tulane did very well at the Oxford Regional, and as a senior, they made it to the title game of that Oxford Regional. He's also a product of the Mississippi Community College system. We were talking earlier how important that, what a special connection he has. He was a standout at Pearl River Community College. In fact, was named the Region 23 Defensive Player of the Year. They went on to win the conference championship at Pearl River. And I heard from a mutual friend today that he's also in the Pearl River Community College Hall of Fame. I mean, we could go on and on. An amazing journey. Let's give him a Northeast Tiger welcome to Memphis head coach Matt Risner. There you go. Yes. I tell you what, that was just going over that. That's quite a journey, Coach.
That's
Sorry. There you go.
That's quite the introduction. Yeah, I guess over time you don't realize, and then playing Rosenblatt will start to age me at some point in time, right? For TD Ameritrade now and what. But yeah, at the end of the day, we had great coaches and great teammates, and just great memories through all that stuff. So appreciate you sharing that. That made me reminisce a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Nothing wrong with turning the clock back a little bit. I'm kind of curious, when did you know that you wanted to get into coaching?
So, all right, either I'm the dumbest baseball coach in the country or the smartest baseball coach in the country. The degree is in biomedical engineering from Tulane. When it came time to make a decision to continue on with education, I got an opportunity to coach a travel ball team. The Jackson 96ers, little brothers on the team, and they knew it finished up. So, yeah, they asked me to coach for the summer. So, of course, that progressed into hey man, what do I want to do with life? Do I want to go to grad school and keep trying to do med school, or do I want to do this whole ordeal of baseball? Well, the B&Ds looked at me like I was stupid. The baseball guys looked at me like I was really smart. So I said, all right, I'm going to go the baseball route and be a coach. So I had the good fortune of getting on the staff there in 2007, there at Southeastern as a volunteer after my GA year there at Tulane. So obviously very fortunate for the opportunity and spent 16 years there.
Yeah, I know it was a great run there in Hammond, Louisiana. Did you have an influence, maybe your biggest influence in your life?
Yeah, you know, you got mentors from a coaching aspect of it, but my biggest mentor is my grandfather, 100%. You know, a lot more appreciation for my dad now than back then. He worked late nights, wasn't up a whole lot early in the morning, right? Because he was the local town doctor, so he's making the rounds late at night at the ER and everything else after putting in the hours of practice there that he had going. And mom also took care of us, right? So, but my grandfather was around a lot, learned a lot from him. You know, old World War II veteran. Had a Purple Heart, got to hear all the good old war stories, that kind of stuff. So, but just the ability to be able to kind of handle some adversity. And you know, I wasn't the biggest guy in the world. I got probably made fun of a lot. I really didn't care. You know, in all honesty, that probably my hardest was made through him.
How about that? Of course, all of us have a favorite player maybe growing up.
Yeah.
Do you have one?
Oh yeah, I had plenty of them. You know, I was a little on the left-handed, so you know I kind of drifted towards guys like Tony Gwynn and Darren Erstad and Jim Edmonds, you know, Craig Biggio. I was a huge Nationals fan. So the Killer Bees back in the day, I love Biggio, Burton, and all those guys. So Burton's now the head coach at HBU, Houston Christian, HCU now. So it's pretty cool to get a coach, across from him, watch him play with the Zephyrs, watch him play with the Astros, and then also get the coach across from him and whoop his behind a little bit.
That is amazing. Obviously, a lot has happened through the years in your coaching. You've seen technology advance. How has that changed the game?
Yeah, I mean, the last 10 years, you know, just the advancement in the game, it's come a long ways. You know, we had somebody come in the office the other day and, hey, man, you know, what's this Edgertronics thing? Well, here's what it is. It's slow caption. You know, we can see the fingers off the baseball. Just to make a shorter story of this, like, well, how much it costs? Like, it's $7,500. Okay, here's the check. Go get it. We need the technology. And tell your pitching coach we need to be in Omaha. It's okay, got it, no problem. Obviously, it's a resource, right? I mean, but at the end of the day, the technology doesn't measure the heart and soul, right, of the competitor. You know, they use this as maybe some help to reconvict some things, right? Make you confident. That's the number one tool in having success, is being confident in what you're doing. Or maybe make you aware of some things, right, that we can kind of develop and make better, right? At the end of the day, our goal is to maximize our potential, and that's what we're shooting for, and that technology obviously helps that nowadays.
No doubt about that. You said heart and soul, and when you said that, a former Northeast Tiger came to mind, one of my all-time favorite Northeast Tiger baseball players, Chase Kessinger. In fact, he was at this event 4 years ago, and now he's the director of your pitching development.
Yeah, and quick story with Chase. He's so funny, man. He comes in, you know, Carrick, obviously, he played for Carrick last year and had set up a job essentially, right? Hey, coach, I want to get into coaching. Of course, Carrick left, I come in. So Chase comes in, he's been running everything all summer. And he's got this piece of paper, it's his resume, you know, and he's kind of shaking when he kind of puts it across. Like, well, coach, me and Coach Carrick had these kind of agreements. I was going to coach and be a student assistant. I looked at his resume like this, took the ball up and threw it across the room, and his eyes got about this big. He was like, Coach, I kind of put some time with that. I said, I don't care what it says, what you are on paper. I said, you believe this place can go to Omaha? Yes, sir. Are you going to put anything and all your time and effort into it to make sure this place is the most successful it could possibly be? Yes, sir. I said, okay, you're hired. Let's go, rock and roll. I don't need some piece of paper telling me who you are, what you are. I need to know that you believe in this place the same way I believe in this place. So it was easy to hire him right off the bat, and he's been awesome for us, man. Just been a really huge part of our development, especially for our pitching staff. To have that thing layered out like we do, our head pitching coach, right, and Corey Barton, down to our assistant pitching coach, and Kyle Cameron, who was the pitching coach last year at Jacksonville State, and then to have Chase, who's got the, you know, again, the relationship of a player who's coming off of just playing. He knows the new age of technology, the TikTok. I don't know what all that stuff is. He can kind of relate a little bit, right? And kind of make this, you know, a little bit more marketable, so to speak, from Memphis baseball standpoint. But he's done a fantastic job for us to help connect that.
Of course, coming from a great family, baseball's first family, I always call them the Kessingers. I had a neat story with Chase. I was calling an Ole Miss Memphis game with his dad, Keith Kessinger, and I'm talking in between innings. I'm talking to the producer, and he's talking to him in the ear, and all of a sudden Keith yells out, "It's happening!" And I was like, "What's happening?" He said, "Chase is coming in," and I'm like, I'm like, oh, great. He said, no, it's not great. I don't know what to say. I'm like, I can't talk. I'm like, yeah, you can talk. He was like, I didn't want to talk.
The announcer turned to Dad and started sweating bullets real fast.
Oh my gosh. He said, you have no idea, Will, what a different perspective that is. But of course, as a true messenger, he was able to regroup. And I was really proud of him. And like we talked about, a Northeast Tiger just a couple of years ago. We're going to open it up to some questions from the audience. I know you'll have a few of them. And while you're thinking about a question, Coach Harrelson will come up with the microphone. And while they're thinking about their questions, the big question these days, we see it so many. I mean, everywhere we look, social media, on TV, whatever, the NIL, the transfer portal. I know that's a big...
Yeah.
That's an elephant. You got to take some small bites with that one.
How much time do you got?
Yeah, I know. We talk about technology changing things.
Yeah.
How about that NIL and the transfer portal and maybe some advice that you might have to some of these guys?
Yeah, well, the idea, right? Look, let's talk basic numbers, right? Let's talk some objective and subjective. We've got 11-7 scholarships for 32 players, right, that are going to be on scholarship, 40-man roster total. That waiver's in place for another year since this COVID stuff has gone down, and we're going to continue to hopefully push to make that final legislation. That's where we'll be at. With the NIL, right, I mean, the only thing we're asking for is to try to hopefully help out, right? So everybody's got different ways they're going to do things. For us, it's hopefully have a player on scholarship. Hey, man, I can take you off a scholarship because you know you're here, you're a starting shortstop. Maybe here's an extra few $1,000s with NIL. Go do what your responsibility is for it. And then we can take that scholarship and go sign another player from Northeast or go sign from high school and guarantee them a roster spot because the NIL does not guarantee you on the roster. You know, some are using that in that sense. We had a kid that transferred to Ole Miss from Southeastern when I left, and he's on NIL money, but he has to make the team. If he doesn't make the team, he's going to get the NIL money, right? So it's definitely changed. It's evolved. Our new NCAA president has made a recommendation that maybe we get to a point to where it's maybe setting a foundation, right? When you get after you graduate, I'd love to see it kind of geared towards that. But there's still a lot of moving parts. We've just been approved to be able to help facilitate the NIL stuff, right? So we can have a conversation with the kid, we can have a conversation with whoever the entity is inside the the program that wants to help out and do the NIL deal. We can't negotiate it, but we can help facilitate the meet. So that's changed just here in the last couple of weeks for us as well. Transfer portal, good luck. I mean, it's a mess, right? I'll tell you from us, we got in there on June 18th, had 18 players, and we did a lot in the portal, right? And I told somebody at the end of the summer, I was like, hey, I'll tell you that it was really good to us or really bad to us one way or the other, that I like it or hate it. It was good for us, right, in the situation that we were in. But I'm not going to sit there and shop in the transfer portal every single summer. I mean, that's the reality of it. I want kids who are loyal. I want kids that understand the process. I want kids that will be there for the teammates. I'll never forget being at Pearl River my freshman year. We had one of our starting pitchers that transferred to Meridian. And after he told coach, he comes into the dorm and tries to be all hunky-dory with me and give me the handshake. And, hey, man, great to see you, man. I'll see you. I looked at him and said, kick rocks, man. See you. Right? I mean, you might have your thing with coach, that's fine, but hey, man, you're betting on us, man. You're betting on our team. We're trying to win a state championship. So he went to Meridian, we kicked her behind the state championship. They were running around, we were the state champ. So it was good to see that part of it, but that's the things that we want, right? Because at the end of the day, I'm going to tell you, talent's going to be an all-time high in the next 5 to 10 years. And that's just reality of it, right? We had COVID that hit, backed up some years, made it a little bit older. The draft was 40 rounds, it's now 20 rounds. This minor league just unionized, which is going to take away some more jobs. The GMs are not going to spend more money for those people right down there. They're just going to say, hey, man, here's less jobs, and yeah, we'll pay you minimum wage. So I got a sneaky suspicion that pro guys that I'm talking to, we'll probably be down to 15 rounds here to come in the next couple of years. Where are all those kids going? They're all going to college, right? You're going to be in the most competitive era of college baseball that you've seen in a long, long time, in probably the next 5 years. So what's going to be the separator? When everybody's talent's the same, where's the separator? Well, it's going to be the loyalty. It's going to be the team camaraderie. It's going to be the most competitive dude we can find. So maybe we're not quite as talented team across the field, but that's not what it's about. The most talented team doesn't ever win the thing. Maybe LSU last year. I mean, they did have Paul Skeens. But besides that, right, it's just a team that can build the best and be the best player-led team. If you look at the last 3 national champions, look at Mississippi State in 21. You look at Ole Miss in 22, and you look at LSU in 23. All three of those head coaches know very well. All three of them said the exact same thing. It was the best player-led team that they ever had. 21, you had Jake Mangum, right? They've gone through 3 different head coaches with Andy Cannizzaro, obviously Gary Henderson, then Lamona's got there. They were the consistent factors, right? 22, you had Tim Elko. Hey, I listened and watched that guy firsthand after we beat them. They were number 1 team in the country when we beat them, and watched how he handled business and conducted business there. It's a 23 when Paul Skeens walks through the door right at LSU. Jay Johnson will be the first one to tell you, as soon as he walked through that door, now he has a physical presence. He's 6'7", right? So you respect him when he walks through the door. But he's coming from the Air Force. You're talking about a military kid, right, coming through. The first thing that you saw was leadership skills. It was nice to have 102 and pitch number 120 in a World Series, but the leader that he brought into that locker room the minute he walked in there was the best player-led team he'd ever had. Dylan Cruz, he's number 2 pick, right? So we had the 1-2 here, and he's the best player-led ever. It's not being a locker room Nazi, police and everybody, hey man, this needs to be done, that needs to be done. Accountability is there, right? But it's the guys, like I told our crew yesterday, it's the Mike Owens and Brian Bogusevich that I played with at Tulane. Back in the day, we didn't have digital. We had the newspaper. We all waited for Baseball America to come out. You get the Baseball America to come out, the Gary College at Pearl River, right? I was there at Pearl River, we in the locker room, we get all the stuff, start reading through all the write-ups, the projections. Mike Owens and Brian Bogusevich playing with them were first rounders, never ever mentioned anything about the draft. Mike Owens was our best player, made me, as the number 35 player, the last guy on the roster, the closer in left field. I didn't close on the mound. I closed in left field. We bring the closer on the mound, and I would go to left field to go help out and play defense, right? Had 5 at-bats my year. I was the guy that felt just as important as Mike Owens, who was our first rounder on the team. But he made me feel that way. Your best teams are your best player-led teams. That are your best players, but also your best teammates, right? And your best guys in leadership and show them how to handle adversity, how to handle the moment, how to handle the, hey, yeah, we're 10-0. How to handle, hey, man, we lost back-to-back series. This isn't good. It's those teams that have been able to do that.
Wow, very nicely done. Because that is a huge topic, a very controversial topic, and a lot. I know it's provided a few headaches through the last couple of years as well to the coaches and others. Richie, I know you probably want to get this microphone, and while you're doing that, I know you signed Hayden. Obviously, JUCO, you being a former JUCO standout yourself, the special connection. What draws you to signing a kid from a 2-year school?
Well, we love Mac Jack. I mean, obviously my Pearl River days, right? And we, Dr. Ford, I know how this goes. We probably won the state championship and the national championship, which was back in the day, right? We had them separated Division I's and Division II's. Now, because of the state championship, you actually go to the World Series. Back then, we beat Meridian in the state championship, and we lost the regional and didn't go to the World Series. Meridian won their Division I and went to the World Series. So now they're all together, which is good. But that Mac Jack, man, we know how competitive it is. It's one of the best leagues, if not the best junior college league in the country. You see that. There should probably be more than just one representation in the World Series. In all honesty, in my opinion, that's just my opinion. But we know the type of young men we're getting, the competitiveness, the hard work, the blue collar, that's what it's about, right? And we want to be at a place that can, obviously people can gravitate to that and see that. Memphis has that, right? That grit and the grind. Guys who just love to work hard, man. They consume themselves in the process and love to compete, and that's what they're in it for.
Excellent. Coach Harrelson, if you want to.
All right, so we'll open this up. If you got a question for Coach Ashton, one of the things that I want to do, and I wanted to tell the Diamond Club and tell all you guys, thank you. Coach, I'm going to start this off. One of the things that we're going to do here in the next couple of weeks, Coach Holm and I talked with Brandon, we're about to get a system, a camera system. Just kind of tell you about what it is. It's a 6-angle deal, and we're going to use money from the Diamond Club to help pay for this. But it's called Aware, and the system is it's set up around the field, but it's going to go on a phone. Like the players can go to the cloud, and they can look themselves up and they can see their process each day. They can watch all their information. Coach, I was just going to ask you, like, I know you guys are aware. Could you tell the crowd a little bit about what that is and how important it is to develop the player?
Yeah, 100%. So we did it on 2 entities. One was I'm trying to get us better set up for ESPN Plus. So that's what we're using this for. And 2, for development. The camera system, in all honesty, is relatively cheap. I think we've spent about 12 grand on it, considering that we're spending probably over $50,000 to broadcast about 10 games a year. So now we're going to broadcast, 30 home games a year. The immediate feedback and the technology, the way they tag, right, all of the pitches. So if I want to go in and I say, hey, Memphis Baseball pitches at 90 miles an hour, hit exit velocity 105, it automatically gives me every single video, right? And so it's just, again, right, us as human beings, the so-called more productive they can make us or lazier they can make us, right, to get over remote control and to get to touch the TV. But it's the instant feedback that you get, right? That's a lot of this technology. The more feedback, instant feedback that we're getting, the better off. This AWare system has been phenomenal. We were one of the first ones to get it this summer. They're just getting into it, and they're partnered with a group called True Media that gives you all the stats and numbers. I can literally move a dot, take the shortstop, and move him to the left. It's going to tell me what the hitter's hitting. Oh, he's going to hit 108 on that ground ball. Move low to the right. Oh, he's going to hit 227 on a ground ball in the infield if he's playing there. We are literally, you can see some crazy shifts. You're like, what in the world are they doing? I'm just going off the numbers. I'm not saying they can't beat it, but I'm going to use the numbers and the technology to do that. The AWare system from a development standpoint has been a huge key component for our guys because like Richie said, you can literally grab your phone and guys look at it, they can get instant feedback after that bat. So we can go into the inter squad. They want to see where that pitch was. They got rung up on. I know how to go as hitters. Coach, that wasn't a strike. Go check your phone. Coach, it was there. Yeah, I know it was there, right? So we have some of that immediate feedback to help us continue to progress and develop.
All right, anybody got any questions? Come on now, let's keep this going. Like being a chicken hawk. All right, you ready?
Have you heard, since you come in, progress toward the digital scholarship for baseball, softball, people for college, so much money putting forward that this time?
Yeah, somebody asked me this question really 3 days ago. I foresee it has to. If you look at all the lawsuits that are going on with NCAA right now, right? The multiple transfer just got, I guess, put on pause or, hey, yes, you can multiple transfer now. That came out with the football, right? With all the lawsuits that are going on with NCAA, I foresee one coming down the chute pretty soon where, hey, if we're paying guys in football era $1.5 million, how can we not fully fund a baseball scholarship, right? So I foresee that. I don't know if it's going to be immediate, right? And is it full funded, right? I was just looking at it. Hey, man, basketball's got 13 players. They got 13 scholarships. Football's got 85 players. They got 85 scholarships. Baseball's got 40 players. They got 11% scholarships, right? So, again, I think for us, I think it's coming down the chute. Is it immediate? No. But until then, we'll stay creative with it for sure.
Good question, down here. All right.
Don't be shy.
Ready? You got a question? Hey, I'll ask you this. What's it like working for Penny Hardaway?
You big penny heart.
Yeah, you a big Penny Hardaway fan? Good. Good. You ever done it before? Okay. In all seriousness, Penny is the only guy at the University of Memphis I have not met. And I get it. Penny is Penny, right? I mean, you're talking about a Hall of Famer. He's got a lot of people at him. I've met all of his assistants. They've been great. But Penny is shaking hands and kissing babies and playing and fundraise golf tournaments and that kind of stuff. So, and then trying to win basketball games. So I have not met Penny yet. But staff's fantastic, great people. Met his sons, both of them play there at the University of Memphis. Good dudes. Yep.
Why is baseball
Because baseball is the one sport that doesn't complain, right? The more you kick and scream, people don't want to hear it, and so then people just go, "Hey, man, well, you can take care of yourself. You're self-sufficient." That's my honest opinion on it, right? The more people kick and scream to get things done and be heard, then obviously the more that those things will be heard because they don't want to deal with it. Think about being a school principal, right? Mom or dad keeps calling. Eventually, you just one way or the other, hey, your kid's out, or hey, yes, we'll give him to whatever you want. Here it is. Baseball's always been just a self-sufficient sport. We clean our own stadium, we do the field, right? We're lucky enough now, Richie, we have turf, and we don't have to do that as much, right? But I think that's, in all honesty, why. Now, why are we making progress in baseball? I think our ABCA, our American Baseball Coach Association, has done a great job with Craig Collins of pushing further forward. Like, we're not kicking and screaming, we're not sitting there complaining, we're gonna roll up our sleeves and get them, get our hands dirty. But the same sense is, hey man, we mean business. And at the end of the day, we're fighting for who? Fighting for student athletes, right? We need a better environment for them, more opportunities for those guys to create that. So I think we're a little bit more aggressive in what we're doing now than maybe what we did 20 years ago. I'm good, my man. Good to see you.
Do you think with the transfer portal now, that's something that junior college baseball become more important? Because of the fact that you guys can kind of pick and choose, and high school kids will be left out a little bit more now.
Yeah.
So the JUCO route will become more important for high school baseball players.
So there's two parts I want to answer on this. One, do I think JUCO baseball? Yes, I think it should. Right now, there is also the glamour of it, right? I mean, I get it. Being a Southeastern and obviously played at Pearl River, I never dreamed of playing at Pearl River, right? I mean, I was raised LSU, but the best opportunity provided myself for my career to go to Pearl River. Hopefully, more kids see that if that's the opportunity presented in front of them. Justin Seeley is the former recruiting coordinator at Oklahoma State and was at A&M. Worked his way up from the very bottom, like JUCO days, NIA, made 69 cents an hour, right? Like, just didn't get paid anything but dirt. To working to where he worked, obviously, at Oklahoma State, made a run in the World Series and all that good stuff. He is now out of Division I baseball. He's putting all great information out. They did a quick study talking about real playing time, okay? Real playing time for a true freshman at the Division I level in the Big 12 and in the SEC. They said, hey, what do you think real playing time is? And the stat was 50 to 100 at-bats, which is essentially about, if you get to 100 at-bats, about 40% of playing time. And then 20 to 40 innings, which again, you're sitting in that kind of 30 to 40% playing time. There was only 5% in the Big 12 and the SEC true freshmen that played significant playing time, 5%. Okay, well, let's go down to maybe. Well, if I can't play at the Big 12 or play at the SEC, then I can play at Southeastern, right? I can play down there. They took the top 25 programs from 11.7, did the study on it, and they had 4% true freshmen played significant playing time, right? Now, I'm not saying as a kid coming to high school, that's, hey man, just go JUCO route because it's about playing. There are some things development-wise. There are some things about getting a guy in the system, right? And we all want to play. Let's be honest. My junior year, yeah, I had 5 at-bats. That was it. Like, I wanted more, but at the end of the day, when I talked to Coach Jones, I said, hey, how do we get to Omaha? He's like, that guy in left field, he can hit it. He can't catch it. He knocks in more, he lifts in. Like, it's a devastation out there. He's even playing the outfield, but we know what he can do. He's going to be a big leaguer one day. I need you to be that piece so we can finish off games. We lost one game the entire year in 2005 after leading after 7th inning. I took pride in that, right? That was going to be the best defensive replacement we could possibly have. I knew that was the ultimate goal, was to go to Omaha and rose and black. So, again, from the freshman standpoint, it's about looking at what the opportunities and what the vision and development is for you, right? Do they lay like the plan, or are you just getting in love with the logo? That logo lasts for about 2 weeks. You're going to tweet it out, you're going to Instagram it out, you're going to TikTok it out, whatever it may be. That's going to last for about 2 weeks where everybody's patting you on the back. The issue I think we're having with the transfer portal is they become irrelevant, right? Or kids are becoming irrelevant because they made their decision. Everybody told them, hey, congratulations, that's great, fantastic. And now it became irrelevant. Nobody's talking about it anymore because they're not playing or they're not being the starter or they're not the first team all-conference player. Hey, man, I need the attention back. Thankful to the coaches, blah, blah, the whole 9 yards. Y'all read on social media like I do, right? And now the attention goes back to who? It's back to them again, right? Oh, well, look, now I'm in a transfer portal. Hey, congratulations, you're going to so-and-so. Please, if you can do anything, please detox from social media, right? And understand that that's not what it is. It's what's in your heart and what's the right route for you to go. Because that stuff lasts about 2 weeks, right? And the reality of it is you want some a little bit more longevity. Figure out the stuff, let's figure out where you need to go, figure out the best plan and vision, and ask the hard questions. I think that's the reality. My job as a coach, like I told all one of our recruits, I told Abe when he came in on his visit, is to get all your questions answered and you make the most educated decision that's best for you. But once you make the decision, I want you all bet.
All right, anybody else? I do have another question I want to ask you, because you kind of sit on my mind here. If you see this as saying it's about 2027 commitment to the University of talking about the University of Tennessee. How many of those kids who committed, say, eighth, ninth grade, this day and age, do you see actually sticking with that team and finishing with that team from the time that they're ninth grade or the time that they're a senior at that SEC, ACC level?
Yeah, I don't know the numbers on it, Richie, but I'll tell you this. I would venture to say less than 50%, right? Because when you're committed that early, they're committed to a tool, right? They're committed to, there's something there, the arm strength, the run tool, the size, whatever. And then the advice I can give to you guys, right? Everybody's recruiting process is always different. And that's what you have to understand, and do your best job to work and compete and not compare, right? I think that's where those things are out of your control. I can control if Johnny's going to sign with Tennessee or not. I'm playing with Johnny, and Johnny's going to Tennessee. I think I'm a better player than Johnny. You know, why am I not going to Tennessee? Or why am I not going to Ole Miss? Or why am I not getting D1 offers? Why am I not getting, okay, let me quit worrying about what Johnny's got going on. Let me worry about what I've got going on. How can I better myself to put myself in the best position to play as long as I possibly can? It ends for everybody at some point in time. That recruiting process will end at some point in time, right, where you'll have to make a decision. And that decision in that is to make sure you make a very educated decision and not a rational decision, not an emotional decision, right? I think that's tough to do, again, with the social media aspect and era that we're in, to be able to do that. But for me, you know, understand that I've signed a guy on July 31st coming out of high school who was supposed to go to junior college. We had some things happen. He really progressed over the summer. Baseball's the one sport overnight that, hey man, you get a little stronger, arm works a little bit better. You go from 85 to 90, and all of a sudden you get put on 10 pounds and you start hitting balls out of the yard, and the doubles, grow 3 inches, whatever. Baseball overnight can turn to a prospect real fast. Hey man, we signed a kid July 31st after senior year, and he was our Friday night starter as a true freshman. And people were coming crazy. We walked on a kid 2 years ago. Unfortunate. We had 9 arm injuries. That was just devastation, right? Our guys get back in, they did, they kept playing. We beat Ole Miss that year, right? We had a freshman, the left-handed walk-on that we walked on in July. He got let go by Lafayette. He was 8th grade when he committed there for you, Rich. All of a sudden, senior year, like, it's not good enough. It's an 85, 87 left-hander, whatever. We need a left-handed. Hey, man, you're smart. Your dad's a doctor, right? Come on in. You can afford the situation. Hey, man, if you prove yourself, we'll put you on scholarship. He starts game 1 of the regional against Auburn. Didn't go real well, but still started game 1 of the regional, the true freshman walk-on, right? So everybody's process is different. Don't get caught up and compare it to somebody else. Just make sure you can put yourself in the best position for it.
Anybody else? It's on the record to go.
I can talk about this all night.
We do like this format, letting people sit up there, you don't have to worry about hearing the speech, it's always, it's so much in here, you guys tell, sitting on your side, what it's like, so.
100%.
I don't think, nobody else has anything, we're gonna get set.
I've got one thing, Rich, if you don't mind. I do have a little testimony. Nobody's got any more questions. Everybody's got questions? Okay, so I'll fully disclose. I'll give you my testimony. Because in all honesty, I think I know why everything started to kind of do what it did and see where I'm at. So, full disclosure, I got fired at Southeastern. Okay, so Will said all the great things about it, right? Second all-time coach, right? Wins and the 4 regionals and all the championships and the kids that we graduated, the whole deal. We had a bad year last year, unfortunately, had some injuries, and that's the way it goes. We're in a very volatile business. The guy that I played for in junior college, the guy that I worked under, fired me last year, okay? He had a decision to make, professional decision, it is what it is. As a man with 3 kids, 8, 6, and 3, and a wife at home that's dependent on me to bring home the bacon, right, and provide for her family, I can see it coming down the road, right? I don't cry much. Lost my mom, yeah, tough. Lost a dear friend of mine, 30 years old, tough. This is probably like the 3rd time in my life that I've cried. But I told her, like in April, like, hey, here's the deal. This is coming down the chute. If we don't, something happen drastically and we don't make a regional, this is probably coming down the chute. So as a man, I'm sitting there with a family dependent on me to bring home the bacon. And look, the outpouring support that we had and people that reached out to me was unbelievable. It was awesome. It was fantastic. But I knew it was God's work, right? And I knew it was him that was going to be in control and tell me, hey, man, ain't nobody going to feel sorry for you. Ain't nobody going to pick you up but yourself. You got a job to do. Amen. Realize and assess the situation, and you do what you got to do to put your family back in the position that was in. You got it. No problem. Did we make out better? I think so, right? We're enjoying Memphis, all right, enjoying Carterville out there where we live. The kids are enjoying the live school. They're getting adjusted and acclimated quickly, but we left it in his hands, right? And I knew and I trusted him in that situation. I questioned him when I lost my move. Okay, that was the former player that I coached. He coached under me, he coached with me. Tough. It was, yeah. I mean, like, you know, as we get older, we see more and more death. I'd already lost my mom, but to lose somebody at 30 years old was just, I don't know, hard to understand. And I won't lie to you, I kind of questioned some things, right? But in all those tough moments, I had to go revert back to, it's not for me to understand. It's not for me to question. It's for me to trust. Let me find the good out of the situation. So everybody's got their stuff they go through. I'm just going to be honest with you, right? Mom and dad's got the stuff they're going to go through. Grandma and grandpa's got the stuff they're going through. Hey, players, you're going to have your stuff you go through. And it seems like the end of the world. Please trust in him. Trust in the Lord. I promise you, he will give you the strength that you need to get through the situation that you need to get through. So just my quick testimony that I wanted to leave you with. I know he gave me a mission and a message to spend the night. Enjoyed the time that I spent with you guys tonight. Rich, I don't realize you guys realize how good of a dude that is. He is a fantastic baseball coach, but even a better human being. And when he asked me to come and speak this, I was just elated, to be honest with you. I was super excited about getting a chance to come over here and have this conversation. When the snow came, he said, hey, man, look, we got to reschedule. Just tell me when. We'll figure out a date. I'm coming, man. I'm excited about being here and I get a chance to share with you guys. So thank you a lot for having me. Appreciate it.
Great job.
Hey, I gotta tell you guys this. I was bringing this mic to you. You guys, one night I was sitting at home. I was thinking about some stuff we got to do, man. We got to get better at base running, man. We got to do this. And call coach up. I said, hey, you know, you got anything to help us like steal some bases? You know the 24 feet thing? Where it came from. You know how we read the left-handed pitcher? This dude right here. So man, he's awesome.
It's our secret. Don't tell nobody.
Don't tell anybody. Yeah, don't tell anybody. Hey, man, we love you, man. We appreciate you. And
Awesome.
you the man.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I tell you what, we're all going to be some Memphis Tiger fans, not going forward. Great job, Coach.
Thank you so much.
And I know on behalf of all of us, we appreciate the testimony.
Thank you.
Proverbs 3, 5, and 6, right?
There
Trust
you
in
go.
the Lord.
That's it.
He'll make sure he'll straighten those paths for you. And just a tremendous job. We wish you all the best this year at Memphis. As we wrap things up, if anyone is interested in some reserve seating this year, softball, baseball, or you need some more information on the Diamond Club, where's Kevin? There's Kevin. You want to say something? Okay. Yeah, he's your man with the plan. You want to wrap it up? Oh, you got? Okay.
You got it. Oh, you got it. We have some black hats for sale. These are 25, and we have some Mossio camo hats for sale as well for 30. They'll be on the left side. Anderson, he's in the back with you right there, and then I'm as well for reserve seating.
Absolutely. Thank you, Kevin. If no one has anything else, thanks again for being here. All the best to the ladies and the fellas this year, and go Tigers.